Good day, I am Bea Janina I. Taban from BAS 2-2. Today we are going to talk about date rape. There is a book entitled I Never Called It Rape, the Amos Report on Recognizing, Fighting, and Surviving Date and Acquaintance Rape by Robin Warshaw. Date rape is a type of sexual assault where the victim and the offender are in or have been in some form of personal social relationship, ranging from a first date to an established relationship. Date rape may be easily recognized as rape, or it may involve coercive sex that has left the victim feeling confused and traumatized. Victims of date rape often experience emotional but not physical injury. Date rape is not a legal term and is sometimes referred to as relationship rape in the Australian literature. The term rape has largely been replaced in Australian legal terminology with the term sexual assault. Sexual assault includes any sexual activity carried out against the will of the victim through the use of violence, coercion, or intimidation, even if it did not end in penetration. Many states now also include unwanted anal and oral intercourse in that definition, and some have removed gender-specific language to broaden the applicability of rape laws. Remember, sexual assault is a criminal offense. Based on its definition, we can say that date rape is a type of sexual assault where the offender and the victim has some form of personal social relationship, or what we called they are dating. It happens inside the relationship kung saan there is a coercive sex or napilit or pinilit ang isa sa kanila na makipag-sexual intercourse. Sexual assault includes any sexual activity carried out against the will of the person, which means it is not consensual when they do that kind of sexual activity. Even though it did not end on penetration, just like anal or oral sex, it is considered as sexual assault when kung saan pinipilit natin yung victim na gawin ng isang bagay na hindi naman niya gusto when it comes to sexual activity. According to Philippine Commission on Women, sexual violence against women and children is one of the most pervasive problems in the Philippines because 1 in 20 girls and women aging from 15 to 49 years old have experienced such in their lifetime. Child sexual violence is an act which is sexual in nature that is committed against a child without his or her consent, while forced consummated sex is a forced penetrative sex like anal, oral, and vaginal sex. Now, let us talk about what contributes to the factual and perceptual fogs that cloud acquaintance rape incidents. First is communication. Miscommunication contributes to the factual and perceptual fogs that cloud acquaintance rape incidents. This miscommunication may occur because men and women often interpret behavior cues and even direct conversation differently. In general, men give a more sexual reading to behavior and conversation than women do. Let's say, for example, males rated the female actor as being more seductive and promiscuous than the woman did. Males consistently rated various dating behaviors, types of dresses, and dating activities as signs or signals for sex more often than females did. Next is the belief in the justifiable rape, which means the victim's behavior is seen as being responsible for triggering the man's action. Which means, kagagawan mo kung bakit ka ni-rape ng isang lalaki. Which is napaka-absurd because recent study shows that men believe date rape is more justifiable if one of the circumstances occurs. The woman invites the man out on a date. The man pays for the date. She dresses suggestively. They go to his place rather than to a movie. She drinks alcohol or does drugs. But, tama bang sabihin na porket nagdamit ka ng ganito ay kailangan ma-rape ka na without your consent or it is carried out against your will? Hindi mo gusto na may rape. Hindi mo gusto na rapen ka, na makipag-sexual intercourse, pero pinipilit ka ng isang tao. The next one is the role of alcohol and drugs. It is impossible to consider why acquaintance rape is so widespread without mentioning the correlation between drug and alcohol use and sexual assault. Although it is certainly possible to drink alcohol without becoming intoxicated in many social settings, particularly those involving teenagers and young adults, getting drunk is the point of drinking. And because there is really no drug taking corollary to drinking just one glass of beer, using drugs like marijuana, hashish, cocaine, crack, methamphetamines, LSD, angel dust, and heroin almost always means becoming intoxicated or high, although the depth of that intoxication may vary from drug to drug. According to the survey, about 75% of the men and at least 55% of the women involved in acquaintance rapes had been drinking or taking drugs just before the attack. And lastly, social cultures that support rape and violence. Rape supportive attitudes occur in abundance among men who rape, yet these attitudes are also held by a wide cross section of society. There is a statement that a woman who goes to the home or apartment of a man on the first date implies she is willing to have sex. Next, in the majority of rapes, the victim was promiscuous or had a bad reputation. And more than half of those adults also believe that 50% or more of reported rapes are reported only because the woman was trying to get back at the man, that she was angry with, or to cover up an out of wedlock pregnancy. Research shows that while women often believe these myths, many more men believe them with far greater intensity because men often associate with friends and peers who also hold these beliefs. They are reinforced in their ideas that women are responsible for rape, that rape is only committed by mentally ill strangers, and that women lie about being raped. Na hindi ka pwedeng ma-rape ng mga taong kilala mo, na pumayag ka na makipag-sex sa karelasyon mo. Sobrang absurd ng mga ganitong paniniwala na nadi-justify yung rape. There are cases of rape based on I never called it rape. First is the gangbang by a football team, rape by a college singer, William Kennedy Smith and Patricia Bowman case, Mike Tyson and Destiny Washington case, and the gang assault of a mentally retarded New Jersey girl. Cases in William Kennedy, Mike Tyson, Destiny Washington, and gang assault of a mentally retarded New Jersey girl is the reality which shows the acceptance of acquaintance rape in courts and public consciousness. William Kennedy Smith and Patricia Bowman case is quite alarming. It took only 77 minutes for William Kennedy to be proven not guilty. Maybe because he is a nephew of a senator, and maybe because of his wealth. During the trial, Patricia Bowman was asked about her illegal drug abuse, mental health, and many more, which is not related to the case. And due to the lack of evidence said by the court and physical injuries, William Kennedy is not proven guilty. Well, I don't know why. And some says that why the rape victims are anonymous. Bakit hindi nila sinasabi yung name nila or laging tinatakpan yung mukha nila? This legally right to protect the victims of rape cases because of their mental health. Patricia Bowman is being bashed on the social media na tinatanong kung ano yung motibo mo. Bakit mo inaakasuhan ng rape ang isang parte ng prestigious family, the Kennedy clan? Because William Kennedy is a nephew of a senator. While Mike Tyson and Destiny Washington case, the defendants have quite a similarity when it comes to a celebrity and wealth. But in Mike Tyson's case, he is proven guilty for raping Destiny Washington, a beauty pageant contestera. Mike Tyson and Desiree Washington met in a contest. They asked Mike Tyson a photo, and then he or she gave the hotel number and hotel room, of course. And then after that, they dated, and then the rape happened. While the story of a gang assault of a mentally retarded New Jersey girl with an IQ of 64 at ang pag-isip na parang isang 8 years old, kung saan 13 men ang nang-rape sa kanya at ginawa niya lahat ng gustong sabihin ng mga tao na to because she doesn't know what she's doing because of her IQ. Even though kahit na sinabi niya na yes at sumama siya sa kanila, hindi niya alam po ano yung ginagawa niya dahil she is mentally retarded. She has a problem with her mind. And it is an issue. But they gang assault her, they gang bang her, insert brooms and anything in her vagina. Most women who are raped by the men they know. The truth holds whether you are college educated and a beauty pageant contestant, or mentally limited and socially ostracized, you are prone or you may experience being raped. Yet, there must be something tremendously threatening in that truth. Why else would a handful of detractors deny its reality and be able to harness fervent public regard for their views? Maybe we haven't come very far after all. Next is statistics of date rape or sexual abuse or violence in the Philippines. Based on the National Baseline Study on Violence Against Children, 71% of Filipinos aging from 13 to 17 years old experience sexual violence, while 3.2% has forced consummated sex, anal, oral, and or vaginal throughout their childhood. Out of the 17.1%, 14.1% were committed while dating. The NBS fact revealed that 13.7% were committed in the home, 7.8% in the community, 7.1% in the workplace, and 5.3% in the school. The crime of rape is still prevalent, with the Philippine National Police stating that it is one of the most common crimes committed in the last 6 months, from July 2022 to January 7, 2023. PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. revealed on Monday, January 9, that rape, along with theft and physical injury, were the most prevalent crimes since the start of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration. However, despite being one of the most prevalent crimes in the last 6 months, the incidence of rape decreased from 5,192 in July 2021 to 3,762 in January 7, 2022. According to Azurin, who also noted that index crimes decreased by 8.3% or 1,701 cases, this does not, however, imply that date rape is becoming less of an issue. However, when it comes to setting in terms of types, sexual harassment was most common in the community with 7.6% and during dating 6.6%. Forced consummated sex occurred the most during dating with 6.7%. However, when it comes to sex, boys had consistently more sexual violence and physical neglect incidents, while girls received more harm from peers and saw more psychological violence in the home. When it comes to gender identity, it was reported that LGBTQs was the highest among or compared to heterosexual males and females. 82% of gays are sexually violated, lesbians are 75.8%, and bisexuals are 72%. But by age, the findings further indicated that the majority of young people aged from 18 to 24 experience more incidents of psychological violence and sexual violence, cyber violence, collective violence, and witnessing psychological violence in the home. But the question is, who are the common perpetrators? The common perpetrators of sexual violence in the home were brothers and cousins. cousins, father and brother for boy victims, and brother, stepbrother, sister or stepsister, and stepmother for girl victims. In the community, the NBS VAC stated that the perpetrators of sexual violence were neighbors, strangers, gangsters or addicts, and others, adult men, chatmates or textmates, female friend and brother's friends. As a result, some victims may resort to risky behaviors like substance abuse to escape or cope with trauma. It was punished by Republic Act 8353, an act expanding the definition of the crime of rape and reclassifying the same as crime against persons. Rape as seen by law. The Philippine Commission on Women said rape, which is a crime against person, violates a person's well-being and not just one's virginity or purity, as the law considers that any person, whether prostituted, non-virgin, or one who has an active sexual life may be victimized. Since it is a public offense, anyone who has knowledge of the crime committed may file a case on the victim's behalf. The prosecution continues with the case even if the victim drops the case or forgives the offender. As stated in the revised penal code as amended by Republic Act No. 8353 and Republic Act No. 116481, rape is committed by a man who shall have sexual intercourse with a woman in any of these circumstances, through force, threat, or intimidation, when the victim is deprived of reason or is unconscious, through fraudulent machination or grave abuse of authority, and when the victim is below 16 years of age or is demented, even if none of the above circumstances are present. This, as Republic Act No. 116481, which was signed last year, amended the provisions of the Republic Revised Penal Code, the Anti-Rape Act of 1997, and the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act of 1992. Republic Act No. 8353 set the age of sexual consent to 12, the lowest in Southeast Asia and even in the world. But Republic Act No. 116481, which reached the age of sexual consent to 16. Any person who will engage in sexual activity with a minor who is less than 16 will be committing a crime. It was explained by child rights advocates that raising the age of sexual consent protects the young from sexual abuse and from the consequences they may face, not be completely aware of them when engaging in early sexual activity. The penalty varies depending on the act itself and the circumstances surrounding it. Reclusion perpetua or imprisonment from 20 to 40 years is imposed on the offender if rape is committed through sexual intercourse. Prison mayor or imprisonment to 6 to 12 years is imposed on the offender if rape was committed through or oral or anal sex or through the use of any object or instrument that was inserted into the mouth or anal orifice of the woman or a man. This may also be elevated to reclusion temporal or imprisonment from 12 to 20 years or reclusion perpetua depending on the circumstances surrounding the crime. But what to do if someone is raped? What will you do if you know that someone is raped? First, advise victim to seek the help of a counselor or a therapist who is an expert in handling cases of sexual abuse. Second, help the victim secure a safe and temporary shelter if she or he needs to move to another place for security reasons. Victim can be referred to a crisis center or any government agency that offers temporary shelter. Number 3, make sure that evidence is safe and intact. This would help the victim decide to file a case. 4, secure a medical legal certificate. Absence of bodily injuries does not mean rape did not occur or that the case may not be pursued anymore. Number 5, support victim along the way when she or she decides to file a case. Number 6, ensure that victim is prepared in all aspects. Make her or him understand the overall picture of the case. Inform him or her that it is possible for doctors, police, lawyers, and judges to be insensitive. 7. Help victim choose lawyer who understand her or him most. coordinate with people who can help or support victim throughout. But what will you do if you experience acquaintance rape? First, you should believe in yourself. You should tell someone, get medical help or medical legal, or get a counselor. Decide whether you want to report the rape to police or other authorities. Take time to recover, get counseling, learn more about acquaintance rape, strengthen yourself, talk with other women. According to Martin Luther King, our life begins to end the moment we became silent about things that matter, which means we should speak up about the trivial matters or trivial things or issues happening in front of us. We should speak up and advocate for change in order for us to not tolerate those kind of things na it is happening in front of us pero wala tayong ginagawa. Kung hindi tayo magsasalita, patuloy lang natin na hinahayaan yung mga bagay na yan na mangyari. Kagaya na lang na acquaintance rape. Kung hindi tayo magsasalita at mananahimik na lang, paano tayo makakatulong sa sarili natin at sa iba na mabawasan yung cases ng acquaintance rape at makapagbigay ng awareness sa ibang tao? And that's all. I am Bea Janina Aitaban. Thank you for listening.